Sam Seder on the Majority Report. Emma Vigeland out today. I want to welcome to the program Mase Veney, organizer with the United Food and Commercial Workers International. This is the union that is organizing workers at Whole Foods in Philadelphia. We were anticipating one of your coworkers, Ed Dupree, had a little technical issues with that. Sorry about that, but we got you here, Mase. Mase, just give us a little bit of like a history of where we are today, but go back in terms of how you started organizing. Whole Foods, of course, is a subsidiary now, or I don't even consider it a subsidiary. It's part of Amazon. But give us a little bit of a history of you. Maybe we start with like how long you've been working there, and at what point you decided you needed to unionize.
I've been with Whole Foods for about 3 years, working in the produce department, going on 4. It started, with frustrations. You talk to a lot of coworkers every day. A lot of, and then a lot of changes around the job. Work environment got more, hostile, more, very petty work environment. You started getting rid of full-time workers, hiring part-timers back, putting more workload on the body, but then also paying the same, and they was getting real stingy with the job dialogues. Job dialogue is, you raise every year, you do an evaluation. And then, they added things like UPT, like it was an hour, something separate from your PTO time, a quick way to get people fired, and, you talk to your coworkers every day. I know Ed got together with me. I had a lot of frustrations with the job, the way they were treating me, unfair treatment. And then, we decided to meet up.
So did Ed approach you, or did you, did Ed approach you first, or was...
So I had frustrations already with the job. We talk about the job every day with people, and we came together, and, we had the thought to, come together and talk to people together with who shared the same frustrations as us. And it started with about like 5 of us. And, 5 of us became 10, 10 became 20, 20 became 30. And then it just went on from there.
I'm interested in this little dynamic of it, because I think it's one of the most crucial parts of people who want to unionize their own shop. Mm-hmm. And I've had conversations with this, like folks from Starbucks and whatnot. Yeah. So you and Ed get together, you guys have been just talking in general, and like you both realize you both sort of got a series of complaints, and maybe a couple other folks who like, so we should go talk to, Jim or Nancy, and we'll take them one at a time. How sort of strategic or were you in who you would approach? Like, did you at this stage when you and Ed were like, hey, we have some common grievances, maybe we should start talking about a union, who else would we talk to? Did you guys literally write out a list, or was it casual? Oh, I just happened to talk to this coworker at this time. Like how much thought went into who you would talk, like the sequencing of it?
First, it was very casual and natural. Somebody would bring up a complaint about the job. You always could tell, people were frustrated with the job, and then it would start like that, conversation. I know you had some people that you knew, not to talk to, but I think it just started off with us having connections already before the union even became a thing. So, we would talk to people who we would talk to every day about the job, people that you already knew. You already could tell if somebody's frustrated, that they would be down for that. So it just started off with talking to people you trusted, and then you got other people who talk to people they trust, and then you kind of come together and do that. But I don't think, we did, have later down the line, certain people we knew not to talk to, but it started off very casual, just talking about the job. That's how it started off.
Okay. And so then at what point did you say, okay, we have the numbers now, we've talked to enough people, and my friends have talked to their friends. Did you then have a meeting with 50 or 100 people? How many people work at the Whole Foods?
I think at the time it was 400.
Okay. So at what point did you first go to an outside union and say, hey, can you help us with this? Or did you have a meeting? What was the sequencing there?
If I'm not mistaken, like I said, Ben and Ed, had some of these ideas, but I know that they you know, we had a certain percentage because, you know, it's 30%, right? And I think it started off with the union thing wasn't.
30% is the number that the union will start to organize.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we overachieved. We got, I think, 60% already, but it didn't start off with us thinking about an outside source with the union. First, it started about, you know, trying to do it, you know, ourselves. And I think we had the idea, you know, to go with somebody who could, you know, a union that understood a grocery store. You know, UFCW understands how it runs and how it goes. You know what I mean? And, you know, we decided to, you know, ask them and partner with them, you know, for help. But we had already had about like 60% people who already felt that way. And that's how it started, you know, when it built up. Once we got like 60%, it was kind of like, okay, we got to do something about that. Yeah.
I mean, you walk in with 60% of the workers, that union's got to be like, oh, this is great. Yeah. Right? I mean,
for sure.
And so then, okay, so when was it that the United Food Commercial Workers International got involved? When was that? And then what happened after that?
If I'm not mistaken, I think around the summertime. I know Ed Ben will know a little bit more than me, but sure. I know we decided to start the signing cards after that. We held meetings, you know, just to get people updated, you know, just for them to share their knowledge and what to expect, what we're trying to do next. I know we held meetings pretty, you know, regular, you know, I mean, as much as people could come. And then we started the signing cards. So that's kind of what happened after we decided, you know, the UFCW, we decided to go that path.
So those cards are being signed when it's still the Biden presidency and the National Labor Relations Board is hospitable to unions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so when did you guys ultimately vote on unionizing?
The vote was held January 27th. So just before, like a little bit after, like Trump had got in there, you know, so the vote was January 27th. Yeah.
And so what were the results of the vote?
We won 130 to 100. So yeah, okay. It was pretty comfortable.
All right. So you guys won a pretty good vote. And what happens? Like, okay, now you guys win the vote. But the National Labor Relations Board is the one that says, okay, we certify the vote. You guys are a union. I mean, this is the way it was 3 months ago, I guess now, 4 months ago. You're now a union, and now the clock is starting to run in terms of like whether you get a contract or not. What happens now? Like you win the vote, but there's no National Labor Relations Board because Trump illegally, in my estimation, fired a couple of the commissioners. And there needs to be a quorum.
Yeah. So, you know, we all knew, you know, it was kind of coincidence, you know, fired the member right after we had won our vote. Like you said, you know, we knew, you know, going into it after we went Amazon was going to be very difficult. And they were going to do everything in their power to, you know, waste time. Because that's what this is generally all about, wasting as much time as possible, making people wait as much time as possible. And, you know, we talked about this a lot, and that's why, you know, we can't rely on, you know, the NLRB to do their job and worry about what they're doing. We got to keep doing what we're doing, and we got to keep bringing people together. And we talked about that a bunch. You know, I mean, we got to keep bringing people together and put pressure on them to do the right thing and do what they have to do, because they're not going to do the right thing on their own, and we see that. So, you know, that's why. You know,
so this isn't, so you're in the stage where it's not a question of like you have some imprimatur or you have this label, you're union or not union or official or not official. Right now, it's just sheerly about the relationship that you have with your fellow workers.
Yeah.
And that's where the power is emanating from. Are you, when you win that election and it's 160 to 100, what did you got? 130 to 100. How did you guys then say we need another 40 or 50 of these people to like really have, because we're not going to get this sort of official status from the National Labor Relations Board because it's basically destroyed. We need to get those. So what did you guys start to do in that moment?
Reaching out to people who saw what we did and help and trying to, and inform them on how to start what we did. You're going to need people in that store who work there every day that people trust, because this is all about what you said, trust. This is why we won. We were at extreme disadvantage during this election. Whole Foods and Amazon was able to throw a lot of things at us, and we won because of trust. So, trying to teach people and show people how to do these things, like we did it, within the community that trusts them. You know what I mean? Because you need more people. You're stronger in numbers. You need more people to put pressure on these companies. That's the only way they're ever going to do what they need to do. So, that was our thing, trying to educate and teach, because we've been through it already. Trying to educate and teach other people that, could do the same thing, because we need each other.
You're going out there and trying to develop deeper relationships with the rest of these workers. What is the management trying to do to sow dissent? Because I imagine they're not sitting there going like, hey guys, if you guys need a meeting room or anything like that, or, I know you guys are meeting, so why don't you take one of those crudités that we got down in, in produce and, enjoy the food. Like, they're not doing that, right?
No, the number one thing you can do is separate people. I noticed they've been giving certain things to some people who are like doing their anti-union, regular workers like, me, Ed, and Ben, giving them special treatment, giving them certain things to be against us. Cause that's how that's the main way how you stop unions. You separate each other, lying, blatant lies, telling people your money gonna get taken away, all that stuff, just ways to make us so we don't trust each other anymore. It was separate, you know what I mean? And, it worked on a few people, but, you just stay strong, and you prepare people for this because you knew it was coming anyway.
Right. So they're trying to locate the people who are the most anti-union, maybe, and they're saying like, hey, here's a bonus this week, or they're literally like, take a crudité home, that type of thing, so that it creates that dissent. How is it going? Like, I mean, how has been the project of trying to sort of expand the relationships beyond those 130 who have indicated that they trust the union? And how do you keep those people, like, are you guys starting to do stuff more socially, or are you just trying to what are the sort of like tactical things that you do, to develop these relationships?
You keep people involved, you meetings and stuff like that. You talk to people, let them know that, we still, are going to do what we need to do, outside of just, waiting around and doing that. I know we have meetings, we keep people involved, we talk to people every day, let them know it's okay. Let them know how everything's going. We make sure they okay, because it's been a long process. It was a long, exhausting process. And then, you got new people that's been coming into the store too. You got to try to talk to them and kind of let them know, because, the company's not going to let them know that what happened at the store. And a lot of them come in and they don't know about the union or what's happening. So I make sure, and Ed, me, and a lot of our organizers, we make sure that we keep these people educated, while trying to keep a deep connection. Not just bombarding them with, this is what happened, this was going, talking to them, learning them, you know what I mean? So, just, keeping that connection, keep people involved, let them know what we're doing, let them know, include them. People want to feel included, and they want to know that they, that we're, that things are moving along, regardless if, they're not doing what they need to do or not, the company.
So where are things in that respect? Like, I have the company, I imagine, is saying like, well, we can't recognize you as a union because the National Labor Relations Board hasn't said anything. What do you guys do in that instance? Do you say like, we don't care, let's negotiate right now? Or do you start saying like, we're going to build towards, maybe we need to have a strike, or I mean, what do you do in this instance? And obviously there may be some stuff that you can't say because, this isn't like an attack on Yemen where you want to share this information, like a national security information with everybody on some type of like group chat. But to the extent that you can tell us, tell me.
I mean, you know, they're making us wait, certification and all that stuff. But you just gotta, talk and do things that control things we can control, and
Okay.
I can't say I don't want to say too much of the things that we
No,
got, are
I
we thinking
understand.
about,
Okay,
but
I totally get that.
yeah.
Yes, you're much smarter about this than our Secretary of Defense of the country. I will say that very much. All right, well, so there are things that you guys are doing, and in the meantime, you're trying to just build that solidarity amongst people.
Yeah.
How? Let me just ask you lastly, like the customers. Like, are you getting support from the community? How much of that is involved? Because I imagine, right, there's a set group of people who shop there. And, I'm sure there's some variance, but, people are in habits. I always go to the same grocery store for the most part. What do you guys do in terms of the customer base?
Customers have been very good to us. I had a lot of customers come up to us and say they support us, and ask us what's going on, how we doing, and stuff like that. And I think the community's been very, very good to us. I mean, even sometimes during the vote, having customers come up have swayed a couple people who were like in the middle, seeing the support from their communities behind them. So, they keep, they put a lot of our, they inform other people, you know what I mean? Like, I know I have people come up and it's like, they've been sending videos around, they've seen videos around, their roommates are sending videos, their mom is sending videos and stuff like that. So the community has been very good to us and very helpful, even after the vote, asking us how we doing, is everything okay, what's happening now, so customers, the same customers, you see the same people every day, you kind of build a connection with them too. And it's been very nice. The community's been very good to us and I had our back a lot.
Well, that's good to know. And it's good to know both, like, it's encouraging to hear, but it's also good to know, I think, for people in the audience who are like, how do I help when I see a strike? It really does help a lot when customers or just other people come and offer their support.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it boosts you a lot, Well,
that's great. Well, Mase, anything else you think that we should know?
Other than, you're watching this, we're stronger in numbers, you don't wait around for the change, be the change. So I'm going to say.
All right. Beautiful. Mase Veney, one of the organizers with the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union, organizing Whole Foods in Philadelphia. Tell Ed, sorry we didn't get to connect with him, but hopefully we'll hear, you guys will have reason to come back soon.
Yeah.
When things start rolling, we would love to hear from you. Really appreciate the work you're doing. And honestly, like, you guys are on the vanguard of this because I would imagine, if not the first shop to vote to unionize in this new era of a different National Labor Relations Board. If you're not the first, you got to be close, right? I mean, 5 days after he's inaugurated. And what you guys are doing there is going to be meaningful, not just for your store and not just for other Whole Foods, but I think what you guys are doing there is going to be meaningful for the entire labor movement across the country, who's going to have to deal with a more hostile regime on a federal level. And you guys are going to be able to show that you can still get this done, even with those forces against you. And I really appreciate the work you're doing.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you for keeping our story out there too, informing people. I mean, it means a lot. The more people to hear it, the more people, we can encourage, the better.
Do you guys have a website or something like that? If people want to, they're not in Philadelphia, but want to support you guys?
Well, we have a Instagram page, Philadelphia Philly Workers. Let me see. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Philly Whole Food
Philly
Workers.
Whole Food Workers. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you got it right there.
I don't remember mine either, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to put a link to that. Folks should all just go and follow those Philly Whole Food Workers because at one point they're going to need your support. And great to send that around and inspire people. Again, Mase, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.